The rising voice from Mount Hira. Our beloved prophet was now 40 years old. For a long time he had a very good habit. Each year during the month of Ramadan he would retire to a cave and spend his days by worshipping. This cave was somewhere at the top of Mount Hira. During the Ramadan of that year he was going to spend his time in the same way. He took the food that Hazrat Hatijah had prepared for him and left for the mountain. Everywhere was quiet and still. It was as if all the creatures were watching him make his journey. He carried on his journey lost in thought and eventually arrived at the cave. In here he would only worship and pray and would be busy thinking and contemplating about his Creator. The first 16 days of Ramadan passed in this way. It was a Monday night of the 17th day of Ramadan. There was a strange silence around the mountain, and nothing moved. It was almost dawn, and was a beautiful moment. The nightingales were singing, and the roses gave out their most beautiful scent. It was as if all the creatures were praying to Allah in their own languages. The time had come. The angel of revelation, Gabriel, could be seen in bright, shining lights. Our prophet was busy worshipping as usual. Angel Gabriel called with a loud but sweet voice and said, "Read." Our prophet was both scared and shocked. This was a voice that he had never heard before. His heart shook and replied, "I don't know how to read." Angel Gabriel again said, "Read." Our prophet was still in shock and repeated, "I don't know how to read." But again, Angel Gabriel said, "Read." This time our prophet said, "I don't know how to read. Tell me what I should read." Angel Gabriel then said the following, "Read by the name of Allah, who is your Creator. Allah has created humans from a drop of blood. Read. Allah has endless miracles. Allah is the one who has taught humans to write with a pen." Our prophet was amazed. He repeated the verses revealed by Allah, word by word. The first verses that were revealed found in a place in our prophet's heart and on his lips. Angel Gabriel, who had finished his duty, suddenly disappeared. Muhammad, peace be upon him, had now been assigned with the duty of being a prophet. This was a very big responsibility. Our prophet left the cave with a feeling of excitement and shock. When he was going back to Mecca, he came across some strange things. The mountains, rocks and trees were greeting him. Even unconscious creatures were congratulating him on his prophethood. He reached home and his wife Hazrat Hatijah greeted him at the door and welcomed him respectfully. Our prophet told his wife everything that had happened. Hazrat Hatijah then replied, "Don't feel sad or be afraid. Allah will never shame such a good person like you. You always tell the truth and look after what is entrusted with you. You take good care of your relatives and treat your neighbors well and with kindness. You help the poor and welcome them into your house. You always help the community if they have experienced a disaster and are in need." She then added, "Believe me, I truly hope that you become the prophet of this community." Muhammad, peace be upon him, was now the person who was sent as the prophet of all humanity. Hazrat Hatijah accepted what our prophet had told her. She had now become the first Muslim wife. Together they prayed with our prophet. Our prophet's uncle's son Ali saw them praying. He had been with them since he was a child. At first, he watched them in amazement. When their prayers were over, he asked, "What were you just doing?" Our Prophet answered, "Dear Ali, this is the religion that Allah has chosen for humankind. I am inviting you to become one of Allah's believers. I ask you not to worship what you think are gods that do not good for you or harm you." Ali was only 10 years old then. He looked around the room all childlike and then suddenly paused. He said, "This is something I have never seen or heard of in my life before. I can't give you an answer until I have spoken to my father, Abu Talib." At that time, our Prophet was keeping his prophethood a secret. He wasn't told to go and openly tell people about Islam. He said, "Dear Ali, you can accept my offer if you like. If you decide not to accept it, keep what you saw and heard a secret. Don't tell anyone anything." Ali spent the night thinking about the offer. With the daylight of the morning, his heart was also filled with daylight. He visited our Prophet and said, "Allah didn't ask my father anything when he created me, so there is no reason to go and ask him if I should become a Muslim or not." With this he became a Muslim straight away and had the honor of being the first Muslim child. Ali didn't leave our Prophet's side right up until his death. He became our Prophet's son-in-law by marrying his daughter Fatima. They had 2 sons called Hassan and Hussein. Our Prophet loved his 2 grandchildren very much. From time to time he would sit them on his lap and cuddle them. He would say, "Dear Allah, I love these children very much. I hope you love them too."